Zama. Let's get to the latest. This is regarding the issue of mental health. The Supreme Court has now pulled up the central government to explain the validity of Section 115, Section 115. This is of the Mental Health Care Act 2017. The Apex Court here says that Section 115 of the MHCA Act runs in entire contrast to the IPC Section 309, which actually punishes people who survive suicide attempts. The court has also issued a notice to the Attorney General KK Venugopal here to respond on the inconsistency in this and to show cause as to why the section should not be declared as unconstitutional. We have with us our Deputy News Editor Meenakshi Bhanja getting us further inputs here on this. Meenakshi, this is a very important point that has been raised and this could well lead to an amendment to the Act as well.
Well, that's right, Seher. This is a very critical question, where we've seen two provisions of statute laws come in conflict with each other. Like you rightly mentioned, it is 115 of the Mental Health Act and also 309 of the Indian Penal Code, which are in sharp contrast with each other, because the Penal Code goes on to punish or make a arrangement of punishment for someone who has survived a suicide attempt, Seher. And that is the reason the Supreme Court has sought the assistance of the Attorney General. It wants the views of the Attorney General on this conflict which exists, and that is why the court has gone ahead and issued notices to seek the opinion of not just the central government but also the attorney, who will be obviously responding on behalf of the central government on this issue. But how is it possible that this sharp contrast exists presently in between two statute laws? Because you see, anybody who has attempted suicide is clearly a person who is deeply unhappy with their lives, and then if they go on to survive the suicide attempt, to try them under a penal provision is something which the Supreme Court is deeply uncomfortable with.
All right, but Meenakshi, this is also concerning the IPC Section 309 here. While the court hearing is focusing on Section 115 of this Act, could it also be a scenario of revisiting IPC Section 309, which actually punishes people who survive suicide attempts?
Well, this issue here is this, whether there is a need to retain 115 of the Mental Health Care Act or not, given the fact that there is a penal provision which goes ahead and punishes those who attempt suicide subsequent to their surviving a suicide attempt. You see, sir, this is a nuanced matter. There is no black and white answer to this, and clearly this is something which now merits a deeper scrutiny of the Supreme Court, and the position of the union government on this one is going to be hugely critical, because this is something which has emerged newly into the public domain. There's not been a lot of discourse or debate surrounding this issue, and the position of the union government on this one is also not yet known. So once they come out with their responses, once the attorney, who's the top law officer of the government of India, very, very senior, experienced, eminent jurist in his own individual capacity, once he goes on to articulate a position on this one, the picture will get a little clearer. But clearly, these two diametrically opposite statute laws being in existence at the same time is something which is deeply discomforting.
All right, interesting case there, Meenakshi, and of course, at a time when one needs to be speaking about various aspects to mental health and how the law of the land deals with it as well.